All right, question 4 is very straight to the point. It says, how do you choose a PhD topic? And hopefully I can answer this in under 2 minutes. Right. Now, the approach with which I got my PhD topic is not the conventional approach, but then I will give a bit of background so that you can get proper context into what I'll say next. So when it comes to PhD, very few persons have an individual research burning in their head right from their undergraduate to their masters, and like, oh, I'm going to push it up to a PhD, and that's going to be my research. So for most of us, we pursue a PhD topic that was placed upon us, that was kept into our care, that became our responsibility because some supervisor came up with some topic that they considered interesting, and then they looked at our skill set and like, oh, this particular student has this skill set and that skill set. I feel he or she will be a perfect match for this particular topic, because they definitely would interview a number of PhD students and then select one. So I think the question then should be, okay, aside choosing a PhD topic, like how do you select a PhD that is advertised amongst many others? So what you want to look at is, for me, it was easier to decide what I don't want to do, right? And what you don't want to do is almost as important as what you want to do, right? So I say this way because I applied to what we call a CDT program, a Center for Doctoral Training, and for that kind of program, what we had was you enter as you enter with your bachelor's degree, you do a 1 year master's program, and then supervisors from across the University of Warwick to be precise, they provide a very short brief of a proposal for a PhD topic, just 1 page, and then it's put out there, and then each student just has to pick based on their interests. So I do maths. I love maths, yes, but I avoid statistics. Not that I don't like, I avoid statistics, right? But nobody should penalize me in the future for this. Don't quote me on this, okay? I'm just saying this on a side note. I do stats when necessary, but then I avoid it as much as I can. So for that reason, when I saw topics relating to some statistical stuff, it doesn't really spark my interest, right? I avoided it. I said, no, I'm not going to pick this. I saw some financial mathematics stuff. It's nice, but those things don't tickle my fantasy. I avoided it. And then I came across 2 topics that I would have I could potentially choose, and they bordered around machine learning, right? My PhD topic being video representation learning using graph neural networks. That was the PhD topic I saw advertised by my supervisor, not saying the name. So when I saw that and I went through, it was more about, okay, they could identify human actions with this algorithm. We can do this, we can do that. Like I had this picture painted in my head that, oh yeah, I could do this kind of research. It's interesting, right? So for me, it was more of the interest after discarding the things I don't want to do, right? And then I was left with the things that I could likely consider, and then I had to look at the one that tickled my fantasy. So during my undergraduate, I did my undergraduate project was in cryptography. And I was interested in cryptography right from my second year in the university, because I had a senior colleague who was working on some kind of cryptography called the Hills cipher. And it was just a bit of a matrix multiplication, but it was a very interesting and powerful matrix multiplication. So she was working on the Hills cipher. That was, what's it called? Undergraduate project, and she needed someone to help with writing the code, the program, the script to implement the Hills cipher, and I did that in C++ back then in my second year, and I find it very empowering to have done that. So I told myself when I was going to get to my final year, I was also going to do something in cryptography. So leading up to that, I watched a lot of videos, I read a lot of stuff, and then I had to read some things on number theory, because that was the background knowledge I needed to do cryptography. And that was how I did cryptography, and I enjoyed it. The whole process. It was difficult, but I enjoyed it. Wrote the script from top to bottom and encrypted the text, and I saw the results come out, and I could encrypt and decrypt the text. I was fascinated. So for my PhD, it's turned out that the topic I chose at the end of the day, I was able to write an algorithm in deep learning, machine learning, AI stuff. Quite interesting. That would take some video and then tell you what the person does. Like, oh, the person was taking off his jacket. Oh, this person was, had a heart attack, or this person fell down, or he was putting off his shoe, or he was drinking a cup of water, right? As humans, we can see this thing intuitively and can say, oh yeah, he just picked up a cup of water and he drank it, right? But how can you teach a machine to know that means drinking water and that means taking off jacket? So that was what fascinated me. I know I've actually spent 6 minutes on this, so I'll end it here. That you eliminate the things you don't want to do, and you find the things that match with your skill, that match with your interest, and that fascinates you, because a PhD is going to test you to your core. So you want to select something that would keep you interested even when the chips are down, or even when it seems that you're not really sure how things will work out. But I think this is the last question. And